Good afternoon, everyone. Just a reminder to please keep your microphones on mute so that way it's a little bit easier for us to understand each other when there's no extra background noise happening. We'll give everyone just another minute or so to trickle in before we get started. So Ms. Montalvo was not able to join us today for the Q&A session. She has already started back to her professional development. I know several of you guys are too, but we wanted to go ahead and give you the opportunity to ask your questions, ask and answer your questions. I have a list of questions in front of me that you guys asked during the session itself, but we do have the chat feature available. So if there's a question that you want to ask, feel free to put it in the chat. Clayton Franklin is with me and she's going to be helping facilitate this session. So Ms. Montalvo asked at the beginning of her presentation, what are some workplace readiness skills taught in your classroom? And you guys did an excellent job of answering and upvoting those. And it seems like being on time, verbal and nonverbal communication, and customer service were the most common workplace readiness skills that you teach in your classrooms. And I know that several of you teach lots of different subjects, not just workplace readiness. And these are skills that can be taught in every single course, regardless of what your subject is. And a couple of other questions, what grade, what age should you be doing this? Should you be teaching these? And a consensus that I've seen in here and from research, the earlier you start teaching these skills, the better. So the more practice students get with workplace readiness skills, the better off they're going to be once they enter the workforce. So Clayton, were there any other questions that you would like to go ahead and ask and we can get started?
Let me unmute myself. I was following your directions at the beginning. So there was the one statement, I'm not sure who typed it in, but talked about what they were doing at their county in terms of that age question. I didn't know if you maybe wanted to share that with the group.
Yes, so it says our county definitely teaches workplace readiness skills across the board in 6th, 7th, and 8th, so middle school. But our CTE director also provided a skill sheet to post in K-5 classrooms, so students can become familiar and see the importance of WRS, which is a wonderful idea. And you can also teach students what this looks like as you age and as you mature. Because every time you go through another stage of life, your workplace readiness skills are going to change according to where you're working, who you're dealing with. If you're working with your elders, your peers, if you're mentoring other people, your workplace readiness skills are going to be different.
First question here is, how do you teach these skills through virtual learning?
So the beauty of workplace readiness skills is I feel like they can be taught anywhere. I know during the spring, a lot of you guys were teaching through Zoom or Google Classroom. So you guys can demonstrate those. These are also really good activities that you can have students film and record themselves. So you can have them pair up with someone in their household. You can have them interview a parent or a sibling. You can have them demonstrate do's and don'ts of workplace attire just based on what they have in their closet. They can film themselves in pictures. So that would be a really good way to teach those skills virtually.
The next questions were about what age level. So we've already already addressed that. How to deal with entitled people.
Yes, so yes, with entitled people, and I'm sure, I taught in middle school for 6 years, so I understand parents and how we tend to get phone calls from parents when they're angry and not when they're happy. And I see nodding heads in the Zoom call. So we're all there. sometimes you just have to let them rant because they just want to be heard more than anything. So what I've learned in the past is you let them say whatever they want, and then after that, calmly explain, okay, this is the situation. No, I did not rip your child's paper out of her hands and tear it up and throw it away, despite what might have been conveyed to you at home. So you have to just be very calm with your entitled parents, with your entitled students even. Don't be emotional. Don't let your emotions get in the way. And sometimes you're entitled. People are not going to respond no matter what you do. So you just have to do the best that you can to calmly and respectfully communicate with these people. And sometimes they're just going to leave unhappy, and you just have to let that happen.
I'm not sure if this is a question or if just, and maybe we don't even, none of us even know, but a lot of people typed in, you know, a proper handshake is something that they teach. And so then somebody typed in, what is the new handshake? Question mark.
Yeah.
So in light
yeah.
yeah.
I think the new handshake is you do the elbow to elbow. I don't think we're allowed to even fist bump at this point, but you can stick your foot out and hit your foot to each other. You can learn the wave. I had someone chat me individually and say, what career readiness skills have you seen that are most in demand for this year? And I think one of those skills would be how to communicate via Zoom or video conferencing, and also email etiquette is going to be a very, very important skill that you're going to need to teach your students in terms of workplace readiness skills. Because at this point, we don't know what's going to happen within the next month or the next year. And so email etiquette would be a really big one. All right, Clayton, I think we have time for one more question.
Okay, just one thing that what's questions about how to get her slides. So we will post those later on the platform, so you'll be able to get her slides, her slide deck. One question.
Hang on just a second. Carla said in the chat, but the new handshakes are not professional to some interviewer. That is true. Obviously, we're hoping you're not going to walk in and hit your foot to your interviewer's foot. But I think at this point, interviewers are not, I say this, hopefully interviewers are not going to expect everyone to come in and physically touch skin to skin contact. And so interviewers are going to have to adjust as well. So I think, you know, a strong firm handshake just isn't in the cards right now. But hopefully the world will get back to normal soon, and then we can go back to teaching those workplace readiness skills.
One last question. There was some questions about certification. Is the career preparedness certification available and within iCEV, and would this be applicable to your 9th grade kids?
I would say yes, absolutely. And Clayton, you know a little bit more about the certifications, if you would like to explain that just a little bit more in depth.
Sure. There's actually a couple of certifications. Both are issued by the Express Employment Professionals. One is the career preparedness, which would be definitely perfect for those 9th grade kids because it really gets them started to think about a career and then what all is involved to obtain a career, like resume writing, job searching, portfolio development, those types of things. And then there's also the business office technology certification, and then also a professional communication certification. And that one is actually issued by Southwest Airlines. So there are 3 that are really applicable to all types of students, regardless of what type of classroom they're in. They all teach those essential skills that any student needs, really, regardless of what career interest they have or course or cluster interest that they have. It really fits what all kids need to know and addresses those skills that they need to know to enter the workplace or just to interact with folks in general, but then also to be very prepared to enter that world of work from a career standpoint.
Okay, thank you so much, guys. We appreciate you watching the video or the session for Ms. Montalvo. Like Clayton said, we're going to have those slides available, and in the chat Yes.
I have a question. I posted here, are those certifications at a fee or a separate fee? The
Yeah, I
express?
apologize. I was trying to type back to you. I apologize. Yes, they
Okay.
are. So it's $30 to take the certification exam. Within inside iCEV, you and your students already have access to all of the preparation content. But when they're ready to take that exam, it is a $30 fee for a voucher, so they can take the exam.
We have to negotiate with them because I know with Certiport, there's like a site license that you can purchase for certain certifications. You think it's because $30, it's not too bad, but we have to negotiate with each way, like Southwest and.
So that $30 is basically like an administrative fee from a testing type thing. Would definitely love to talk to you offline if you would like to. I will chat my email address in here for you so you can grab it, and then we can communicate afterwards if that will work for you.
That's fine, thank you.
All right, great questions, everyone. Great discussion. We appreciate it. The code for your professional development credit is different from the code to get into the Zoom. So make sure you have the correct code. It's WorkReady 040. So WorkReady 040. Thank you guys so much and have a great afternoon.